in the first defense of his WBC bantamweight title.
Of boxing in the super bantamweight division, and it features, and introducing to you in the red corner from Alhambra, California, wearing the all blue trunks with a professional record of 29 contests, 23 wins, 6 by way of the knockout route, and 6 losses. Last evening, he weighed in at 8 stone, 9 pounds, and 4 ounces. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Belfast, please, Mario Diaz. And in the blue corner from Mexico City, wearing the all-red trunks, with a professional record of 34 contests, 27 wins, 18 by way of the knockout, with 16 losses, 1 draw. Weighing in at 8 stone, 10 pounds, and 14 ounces. Ladies and gentlemen, will you welcome, please, Jose Luis Bueno. Your timekeeper for this contest is Mr. Dale Elliott from Northern Ireland, and your referee is Barney Wilson from Belfast.
So there we are then, that's the first one to get us off this evening. A very, very probable challenger for Wayne McCulloch's WBC Championship, Jose Luis Bueno. In the red trunks, fighting here, Mario Diaz of Chiapas in Mexico, now based in California. Now, Bueno, a former WBC super flyweight champion. He won it in Korea. He beat Sun Kill Moon, no mean feat. Lost it in his first defense in Japan against Hiroshi Kawashima. Had a rematch with Kawashima and lost again, but both times on points. So I've got a feeling that Jose Luis Bueno has been brought over to Belfast, so McCulloch's people can take a look at him. And worth pointing out to you at this stage that Diaz in the blue is strictly a non-puncher. He's had 23 wins and 6 losses and only stopped 6 men in 23 wins. The former USBA champion. Both these lads 26 years of age. Bueno, give his full name, Jose Luis Bueno Duarte, and he was a former Continental America's champion. For what that's worth, he made 3 successful defenses as well before winning the WBC title. I'd say that was at Superfly. Couple of good shots there from Bueno. That's a good first round, I would say, for Bueno in the red. And of course, British rules apply in Belfast boxing rings, so the 9.5 point lead, 10 to 9.5 point lead for Bueno. That's of course assuming the referee Barney Wilson had it the same way as I did. And it appears that Bueno may have been having a bit of trouble making the super flyweight limit. Consequently, he's up here at Bantam. And that's Tel Torrance in the corner of Diaz. And of course, this is a prelude to our main event tonight. Wayne McCulloch defending his WBC bantamweight crown against the Dane, Johnny Breddle. Round 2 then of the scheduled 10 in the bantamweight division. Nice little uppercut there from Bueno. And the right cross. Well, I dare say that McCulloch's handlers can't be too worried about what they've seen so far of Bueno. As I say, he's a very likely challenger. Should, of course, McCulloch retain his title in this ring later against the man for Denmark, Johnny Breddle. That's how it's done these days, of course. Get a look at them if you can. Best punch of the fight so far from Diaz, right over the top. And Bueno there catching those left hooks on his arm and glove, nice and tight to the body. You don't find too many Mexican fighters with technical limitations at this level. They've both been a pro for a while now. In fact, Bueno turned pro in '87, but Diaz a couple of years earlier. So another good round then, I think, for Bueno, but some reasonable moments for Diaz in that round. Checking the independent world boxing rankings earlier, and this young man ranked at number 25 in the world by the IWBR, and ironically that's actually 2 places higher than Wayne McCulloch's challenger tonight, Johnny Breddle.
Corners, 10 seconds.
I'm afraid no mention of Mario Diaz, and not to be confused, of course, with Mauricio and Javier. Round 3. Just to remind you, Jose Luis Bueno in the red from Mexico against the young man now campaigning out of California, Mario Diaz, nicknamed Mayo. couple of fights ago, one name you will recognise on the record of Diaz. He actually was outpointed in March of this year and lost his USBA title to one Sergio Reyes. Of course, Reyes represented the Americans at the 1992 Olympic Games in Barcelona. And his last fight was a loss in Texas against the local man, Paul Ayala, and that was for the NABF Championship. So obviously some people think quite highly of Diaz. One of those normally relied upon to go the full route. Could have been stopped once against the wonderfully named Enrique Jupiter. Great name. And that was 4 years ago. Well, I think we've seen Diaz staggered a couple of times in this third round. And of course, you may wonder what on earth two Mexicans are doing, fighting on the undercard in Belfast. Well, as I said, I do believe that McCulloch's people would like to take a look at Jose Luis Bueno. And there's a cut now, I think, on Diaz's right eye. Clash of heads there.
Stop boxing, stop boxing. Stop
Barney
boxing.
Wilson taking some time out now to examine Diaz.
Box on. Box on.
Well, he's satisfied, he can continue. The replay here, see if we can see how that cut appeared on the right eye. Well, I'm afraid we're not, but here we are for round 4. And as I just said, we've got Diaz cut on the right eye. Referee Wilson had a look before sending him back to the corner, or back to the fray. And he's out here for round 4. But he was rocked a couple of times, I thought, in the third round. So right there again from Bueno. It looks like we've got an upping pace here from Bueno now. Catching Diaz almost at will, and the blood's flowing again as well. Yes, I can't imagine when McCulloch's camp.
Stop boxing, stop boxing.
Hang on, well, it looks like Barney Wilson's going to stop this one now. Well, at least he wants to get the doctor to take a look at it, I think. Definitely a clash of heads. Yes, it's bleeding quite badly, actually. Should all be over here, I would have thought. Well, it's not. Fancy that. The blood running fairly copiously from the cut. Surely on borrowed time, though. One thing's for sure, Diaz does not carry the kind of power to bother Bueno at all. As I say, he's only got 6 knockouts in 23 wins, and that's pretty weak. Nice uppercut there from Diaz.
Stop boxing. Stop boxing. Stop boxing. No.
Yeah, quite right too. Well, Barney Wilson there, apparently rather surprised that he allowed Diaz to go that far. So a win then for Jose Luis Bueno in round 4. And let's have the second time in Diaz's career has been stopped. I don't know the circumstances of the first one, of course, but it may well have been a cut as well. So, Bueno racks up another win to make it 28 now.
Diaz sustained a cut in 2 minutes 57 seconds of round 4. The referee stopped the contest, leaving the winner, Jose Luis Bueno.
So, as I say, be a total surprise to see Bueno back in this ring against Wayne McCulloch in the future, and it doesn't look like too demanding a defence, to be honest with you. We've still got a main event to come, of course. Wayne McCulloch defending the WBC bantamweight title against Denmark's for tonight's main event.
Sauer, ein 26 Jahre alter Franco-Kanadier, auch ein Spitzenmann, und das ist er, Willie Pep, etwas kleiner und mit 32 Jahren 6 Jahre älter als Sauer. Beide haben das Pferdegewicht nicht gebracht, sie stehen also im Leichtgewicht mit etwa 60 Kilo. Willie Pep in seiner typischen Art. Meist abgeduckt und dann die linke zweimal, manchmal dreimal herausschlagend. Und die körperlichen Vorteile, so sieht es aus, liegen bei Sauer. Er ist eigentlich ein Leichtgewichtler. Trotzdem in Chicago viel Interesse für diesen Fight, eben weil dieser Willie Pep so populär ist. Er bekommt $20.000 für den 10-Runder und die Hälfte, nämlich $10.000, kassiert Armand Sauer. Immerhin damals, am 1. Oktober 1952, war das schon allerhand Geld.
championship. In just 12 pro fights, the former Olympian has punched his way to the #1 spot in the world. Sergio Reyes, a bantamweight brawler. Also tonight, another battling bantamweight, Paulie Ayala, in defense of his NABF crown. In just 14 pro fights, Ayala world ranked and on the move as he is at all times in the ring. Paulie Ayala, a rising bantamweight star. 2 championship bouts on Tuesday Night Fights.
Tonight's boxing is brought to you by Speed Stick. Like you, it never quits. By Menon. By Pringles. So fresh, once you pop, you can't stop. And by Beechwood Aged Budweiser. It's always been true. This Bud's for you.
Tonight from the Will Rogers Coliseum, which has never seen a fight it hasn't liked. Fort Worth, Texas. Budweiser, the king of beers, presents USA's Tuesday Night Fights. Hi, everybody. I'm Al Albert, along with the champ, Sean O'Grady. Welcome to the Tuesday Night Fights. And tonight we have 2 12-round title fights. We're in Fort Worth, Texas, which is the home of 2 of the best young bantamweights in the world. And tonight they will be co-featured in front of a very loud and supportive crowd. Sergio Reyes and Paulie Ayala, who grew up in the ring together here in Fort Worth. They fought for the first time around the age of 8 and faced each other 16 times as amateurs, and now are on a collision course as pros. And tonight they highlight as co-features. Sergio Reyes, the world's #1 contender champ, will defend his USBA crown against tough Ansi Gideon.
Yeah, and look at that. Sergio Reyes, only 12 pro fights. He's already the #1 contender position in the world. He is a terrific fighter. He's wonderful to watch in the ring. Tonight he's taking on no slouch, going up against Ansi Gideon. Gideon is tough, he's durable, and he says, I'm going to take that #1 position because I want a world title. That should be a terrific matchup.
And also the first fight up, Paulie Ayala out to defend his NABF crown against another tough customer in Mario Diaz.
And really the same kind of story. Paulie Ayala, undefeated as a pro, going up against Diaz. Diaz is tough, durable. Ayala well-schooled, and looks like he is going to be an outstanding fighter in the future. That should also be an outstanding match.
So Reyes and Paulie Ayala certainly inching closer and closer to their inevitable showdown. But tonight they will share the spotlight in front of the hometown crowd in Fort Worth. Paulie Ayala getting ready in the locker room. He is up first when we return on USA's Tuesday Night Fights. We last saw Mario Diaz 3 months ago in the face of Sergio Reyes for 12 rounds for the USBA bantamweight title. A unanimous decision for Reyes, although one judge had it 115-114. A very persistent Mario Diaz giving Reyes some fits. Mario Diaz knows his way around the ring. He couldn't get that USBA belt, so tonight takes a shot at the NABF title.
Oh yeah, tough kid, durable fighter, a veteran fighter. He has twice as many fights as his adversary tonight, so he's looking to use his experience and rely on that.
Tonight he takes on the champion, Paulie Ayala. Now that's the Sergio Reyes Fort Worth bantamweight counterpart. Ayala, like Reyes, is very aggressive, and after just 14 pro fights is ranked 10th in the world and is the NABF champion. And he scouted out Diaz carefully in that Reyes fight.
Well, what I will do is just display my boxing skills. I know what I seen when he was fighting Sergio. He's no lateral movement. He likes to stay there, and he don't use his reach or his height advantage. And so it just makes it all easier for me to be able to find my target.
Paulie Ayala is well aware that Diaz took Sergio Reyes the 12-round distance, so he is thinking knockout tonight.
Oh yeah, they're still fighting, even though they're not really fighting in this fight. He's wanting to get a knockout and to show Reyes that he can knock out somebody that he couldn't.
All right, let's take a look at the tail of the tape heading into tonight's NABF Bantamweight fight. 117 3/4 for Ayala. 117 1/4 for Diaz. Diaz has that height advantage, although both reaches at 67 inches. Diaz had the reach advantage against Reyes. The NABF rules: no standing 8 count, 3 knockdown rule is in effect. You can be saved by the bell in the last round only, and scoring the 10-point must-scoring system. We're ready for the introduction, so let's go into the ring and the dapper Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the USA Network Tuesday Night Fights here at the Will Rogers Coliseum in Fort Worth, Texas, where tonight, Legal Pro Incorporated, Boxing Management Incorporated, along with your undefeated king of beers, Budweiser, this Bud's for you, present an evening of championship wrestling. All the bouts are sanctioned by the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation, Executive Director Jack Garrison, Boxing Coordinator Rick Valdez. This first bout is sanctioned by the North American Boxing Federation, Supervisor at ringside Bob Simpson. The 3 judges scoring the bout on a 10-point must system will be Gail Van Hoy, Jack Woodruff, and Gary Snapka. And when the bell rings, the man in charge of the action, referee Barry Yates. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 12 rounds of boxing for the NABF Bantamweight Championship. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black, trimmed with silver with red letters, weighing 117 1/4 pounds. He comes in from Alhambra, California, with a professional record of 23 victories against 5 losses, 6 KOs to his credit. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the challenger, Mario Diaz. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the purple, trimmed with white, weighing in at 117 3/4 pounds. He's from right here in Fort Worth, Texas. His professional record,
Promise I'll try more to use my height and reach. He says I must try to avoid some punches. He said when I fought Diaz, when he said I fought Reyes, he said I took too many punches. Mario Diaz. So tonight he's going to try to be a bit more elusive.
And Ayala, at the other side of the coin, they used to like to just stand right in there and slug away. Now he's trying to add a little more moving, a little more boxing to kind of get hit and not get hit. He has the speed. He says he just wasn't using it.
Yeah,
Southpaw, just rolling.
Southpaw boxer puncher. A jabbing southpaw is very difficult to beat. You can see that southpaw stance. See him looking at you there? He's leading with his right hand. Most fighters that you face lead with their left hand. This is completely backwards.
Ayala early said he wanted to go to the body, land some combinations, and get out.
And he did right there. Although he went to the head, moved in, scored, and then moved back.
He feels if he could go to the body early and try to wear down Diaz, that he might be able to get him in the later rounds. Diaz has only been stopped once. Here's the time in round number 1. Oh, Diaz gets in that right uppercut. And Ayala returns. 15 seconds to go in round number 1. Our first of 2 title fights tonight. And we will pause for word from your local cable systems. You're watching USA's Tuesday Night Fights.